I'm Kimberly.
And I'm Hillary. And we're the Feral Housewives. Welcome back, Feral Housewives. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving.
We had an interesting Thanksgiving.
We did. Sorry we missed out last week on an episode. We hope you can forgive us.
We were going to do a reel.
And then we didn't.
And we didn't because it was Thanksgiving.
And it was a little chaotic.
Yeah.
And crazy.
And I had like a birthday, like one of my kids had a birthday. It was Thanksgiving. It was Black Friday. Then It was Friendsgiving.
Yep.
Then it was life.
And then it's now.
And now. And tomorrow will be chaotic. But I got decorated for Christmas.
I did last week.
I did it this weekend. So, yeah.
Yep. So we'll get started with our feral moments of the week. I guess I'll start this time. So this last week and a half-ish, we were hanging out and we were decorating for Christmas. And Mercedes, I told the kids that we had to like clean up before we could do anything because we had Edwin's birthday. We had all this stuff going on. And I said, we had to get everything cleaned up and then we'll pull in all the Christmas bins and we'll decorate. So
Which I have to interject. She has a lot of Christmas decorations. I came over to her house and saw all her Christmas and I was overwhelmed and I wasn't even putting it up. And I was like, oh my gosh.
I only have like 1, 2, 3, like 6 bins.
Plus, I have 2 bins.
Oh. Well, I had 6 bins and then 3 bins of ornaments. So.
Oh my gosh. I have 2 bins, including ornaments and Christmas lights.
Oh, that doesn't count my Christmas lights for outside. That's a whole nother bin. Yeah, that's
I guess
a whole nother
I
story.
do have I have 2 bins and a small bin. But you have 8 nativities alone.
It's true. That one's not out yet. That one's in my closet because that one has its own special thing. That one was my grandma's.
Okay, so
anyway, so we're cleaning up and Mercedes is helping and we're like getting all the trash and picking up all the stuff. And she brings me over. It's a little tiny like trash can like that you'd have in the bathroom, like a little one. And she brings it over and she's like, Mommy, I think Claudia peed in the garbage can. And I'm like, what? And first off, I'm like, there's no freaking way Claudia peed in the garbage can. There's no way she would do that. Okay. 2,
how is that even possible?
Right? And I'm like,
this is the best aiming cat ever.
Right? And she's like, either that or it was Suki. And I'm like, uh-huh. And I instantly look at Edwin and he like looks the other way. And I'm like, give me the garbage can. And I like, all I have to do is look at it. And I look at Edwin. I was like, did you pee in this garbage can? And he's like, no. I was like, uh-huh. And Sean's over there. And he's like, what's going on? I was like, I'm pretty sure I don't pee in this garbage can. And he goes, Edwin, did you pee in a garbage can? And he's like, yeah. Why the crap did you pee in a garbage can? He's like, I just really had to go pee. So why the freaking crap didn't you go to the bathroom? And he's like, I don't know. Because, that's his classic answer for everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, Edwin, you cannot just pee in a random garbage can. Like, what the heck? I was like, the garbage can is like next to the bathroom. What is even wrong with you? Like, it wasn't even far.
Yeah.
It was like the garbage can by our bathroom over there.
It seems like it would take more work to pee in the garbage can.
Right? I'm like, I think you really just wanted to aim in the garbage can and pee in it. Really.
Hank
like,
has
it's
done
fun.
That. But he's 4. But he thinks it's fun.
Yeah, I'm like...
He's like, look, I got all my pee in the bucket. I'm like, oh.
He never did all this when he was little. So now I'm like, what? Did you wait a couple years to like do all this crap?
Maybe Hank told him he peed in buckets. And he's like, that sounds like fun. Wish I had done that when I was 4.
For real. I was like, oh my gosh, Edwin. So then he got to go dump it out in the toilet. And then Sean made him clean the garbage can out in the sink and scrub it out and clean it all out and stuff. And he's like, this is disgusting. And we're like, no freaking duh.
Well, that's why you don't pee in it.
Yeah. So that was our feral moment of Edwin peeing in a garbage can. And Mercedes randomly finding it and accusing the animals. So.
And you were like, nope, this was your brother.
Nope. Different animal.
Not an animal.
No.
They're not that talented.
Yep.
So my feral moment, we were putting up... So Adam sprained his ankle at work and has been out of work for a week. He sprained it on the job. I was like, how did you sprain it? Like, he came home and told me, I was like, did you fall off something? Did you trip over something? Did you crawl? You know, like, he crawls in crawl spaces. He does all this dangerous stuff, right? He climbs up on top of roofs. He's like, I walked funny on the sidewalk. And I rolled my ankle, and I heard a crack, and then I didn't say anything. And he's like, before you speak, yes, I know I'm old. So anyway, so we were, and I wanted my Christmas lights up. He was supposed to put them up a few weeks ago, but he didn't. Anyway, and I was like, this is one of the last sunny days. Ryan is going to go see his mom. I want the Christmas lights up. And he was like, okay. So he's making Ryan do it, which they didn't even plug them in. I came home tonight thinking they'd be on.
Oh, they do them tonight?
Yeah, they did them today,
nice.
but they didn't plug them in, so they're not on. Anyway.
Well, that defeats the entire purpose.
Right? So then I was like, so then Adam comes in, and, like, Ryan's on the roof, and I'm like, where's Hank? And Adam's, like, outside, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is he on the roof? And Adam's like, he is not on the roof. And I'm like, the wording of your answer is very suspicious. And he's like, he is not on the roof. So then I go to the front door and I open it, and the ladder's like right in front of the front door. And there is Hank's little feet on the top step of the ladder.
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, let me help Brian. I'll hook them on. And Adam's like I said, he's not on the roof.
Oh my gosh.
And anyway, it was kind of like a heart-stopping moment for me because he was a step away from the roof. Luckily, we have a very, like, flat roof.
But the question, did he have shoes on?
He did.
Okay. That's good because it's freezing outside.
It's freezing. He actually doesn't like the cold, so he's been, like, getting dressed in, like, warm clothes.
One day he'll tell you he wants to move to Alaska. Like me.
And I'm gonna be like, but then your toes will be frozen. He told me he doesn't like to be cold because his toes get frozen and feel like ice cubes on his feet. He does not like the cold. Yesterday morning, like, it was like 24 degrees the other night and last night, but he gets up and he's like, Mommy, I'm a coldy boy. And he's like standing in front of the heater eating his breakfast. I'm like, do you want to come sit over here? And he's like, I need the warm air for my feetsies. And I'm like, okay. But, so yes, that was my feral moment. I walked out and Hank was just, and I was like, I told you he wasn't on the roof. And I'm like, he is a step away from the roof.
Oh my goodness.
He didn't die. Then I sent a picture to my family, and my mom was like, oh my gosh! Then she calls me, she's like, are the children off the roof? And I'm like, yes, Mom. She's like, good, now I can go to sleep. I was so stressed over it. And I was like, oh my gosh, Mom.
That reminds me, I was talking to this morning at the plaything at the church that they all meet at. They were talking about how, like, they take I was like, she's like, oh, I'm such a bad mom because I'll laugh when they do this, like they get hurt or like they whatever, you know. And I was like, yeah, I'm one of those moms that takes a picture before I go and help them, right?
And then we talk about it on our podcast and laugh.
So you just said you took a picture, right? So I don't think you were there, but Danelle and I were at the park, and that's when Josie put Edwin in the baby swing. He was like, I think he was 5 or 6. And he asked Josie to put him in it. And I was like, oh my gosh, Josie's like 16. She did it. And he's stuck in the swing and he's like crying and his legs are
I do remember that.
Yeah, and then like
and his legs were like going numb.
Yeah, he couldn't feel, like we literally almost had to call the fire department because we could not get him out.
Wait, maybe I wasn't there. I do remember it though. I don't know if I just remember the story.
Yeah, it was but I did. I stopped and took a picture before I went and helped him. But James saved the day though because he like got down on his arms and knees. And hands and feet or knees, yeah. And then
could you imagine having to call the fire department? My son is stuck in the baby swing, and he's no feeling in his lower extremities.
Oh my gosh!
No, he's not a baby. He's 6 years old.
For real, it was so scary. We were like trying to pull him. James got down and he was able to stand on his back and then like put pressure on and push him up because he couldn't reach the ground.
You're like,
oh my goodness, it was. You're so like,
where's
scary.
the butter? We gotta loosen him up.
Oh my gosh, it was so scary. And Danelle and I were like rolling, but also like scared. Yeah.
It was so scary after you took the picture making fun of him.
Yes. After the picture was taken, the fear set in.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. But anywho, souls. So this week we were going to talk about holiday mishaps and what not ways to avoid them because they just happen, but things that have happened to us and crazy stories that we have for Thanksgivings. And I don't know, are we doing Christmas ones too or just crazy Thanksgivings?
I think Christmas because I've had more crazy Christmas ones.
Okay, I have some crazy Christmas ones too.
Mm-hmm.
You want to start?
How about you start?
Okay. So we have the super awkward Thanksgiving that I had when I was younger.
Yes.
And like, I swear everything that could go wrong did at that Thanksgiving.
That's the one where the person
prank called. Yeah. Well, not only did they do that at that Thanksgiving and like that happened, but we had made this turkey and my friend had brought her like family heirloom, like family platter, and it got shattered. And then, like, she was devastated. So then we were like on eBay trying to like look up the platter for it. And that was the exact same. And so we ended up ordering the same platter to like order it to replace it. And then like, what else happened? There were like so many things that had gone wrong. Like things got burnt and feelings got hurt and people were it was just all over the place, like that one. But the Christmas that stands out for me right now is when I lived in Utah, and it was the year I got my American Girl doll, and we got a Nintendo 64 that was for my brother and I both, because he was pretty little still.
I remember when we got a Nintendo 64 at Christmas, probably the same Christmas.
I think I was like 14, 15, and he was, no, I had to be younger. Anyways, doesn't matter. But anyways, we got it that year. My grandparents had come out to stay with us for the Christmas, and my aunt and uncle, my great aunt and uncle, June and Todd. And that Christmas, my Uncle Todd, like, had some kind of like brain mishap or something. Like, I don't know if he had like I don't know if he had I still to this day don't even know what happened. Like so what happened is we all went to go to bed, and my grandma and grandpa were in my room, and June and Todd were in my brother's room, and John and I were in my mom and dad's room on the floor. And Todd woke up and he went around the house and he went and turned on every single light in every single room, and he kept going in every single bedroom too and turning on all the lights. And then he went and he took all of the dish rags and he draped them over all of the banisters and all of the railings. And we had a bunch of different ones in the house. And then my mom said, I didn't know this part until later, but he went in the kitchen and took all of the like cleaning supplies out from under the sink and like squirted them out on the floor in the kitchen. Like
weird.
Yeah, like he had some like elderly
some of those
going on.
If you like mix, it's very dangerous.
Yeah. Like I don't know, like he had some elderly thing going on where he like just didn't know what he was doing. And he was just like, I don't know, it was weird because he didn't have Alzheimer's at the time. He didn't have anything at the time. He was totally normal.
Reminds me of
until after that.
Grandma on Christmas Vacation when she like brings
yes,
them, like, she
that is totally June.
Her cat and her
that
like,
is so my Aunt June.
Her like Jello salad.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I have another Christmas one after that. But yeah, so he did all this stuff, and then I remember he kept turning all the lights. He kept coming into my mom's room and turning the lights on. I was like, what is he doing? And I was kind of freaked out because it was kind of scary. And because he doesn't normally do that. And she's like, I don't know. So we ended up locking our bedroom door. And then he would like knock because he wanted to come in to like turn the lights on because we kept going around turning all the lights back off. And then finally
was this at nighttime?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because it was Christmas Eve. It was Christmas Eve, and he kept turning all the lights on. And then finally, we locked our door, and then he finally left us alone. And in the morning, my parents got up, and they found all the cleaner all over the floor. And I guess they cleaned it all up before we got up to go see Santa presents and stuff. And then I guess all of the towels had been draped everywhere. And like, I don't know. It was trippy. It was.
So he just wandered around your house all night and moved stuff? That is so weird.
Yeah, it was super weird. It was super trippy.
It was weird that you guys just let him do that.
What were we supposed to do?
Take him to the emergency room because he was having a brain...
I don't know.
A brain blip?
I don't know. I seriously don't know what they... I don't know. It was
I don't
weird.
know either.
It was bizarre. It was very bizarre. I don't know why they didn't take him in. I probably would take him in now.
Yeah.
It was back in the 90s. Nobody knew what the crap they were doing.
They were probably like, eh...
It's just Uncle Todd. Who knows what he's doing?
It's just what he does.
Yeah. But it was weird.
Well, mine is my grandparents. So my grandparents, hopefully no one in my family is listening to this podcast. At least the wrong people in my family. So my grandparents, who I love to death, would always be like, hey, we'll be here on this date. And then they'd get so excited that they'd leave early. And then they'd show up like a day or two early.
Oh, no.
Like one time they came and like we woke up and they were like in our driveway, like at like 8 a.m. because they had just left super early in the morning and driven straight through. And so, yeah. So one year they got there early and they were coming for Christmas and like sooner than we expected. And my grandma and grandpa were super tired and they had their dog who we all loved, and we had a cat, and we had just gotten the cat and she hated the dog because she's a cat and the dog is a dog. So my dad was like, we'll just put the cat on the back porch and she can go in and out because that's how she was. Like she was a rescue. Her mom had her in the wild and then the kittens were rescued, and so she was like pretty feral actually. And she was a great hunter. My dad was like, we never had a mouse problem, or a snake problem, or a rodent problem of any kind. Anyway, so my dad's like, it's not a big deal. But my grandma was like worried about the cat. And she was like, I don't want you to put yourself out. My dad's like, we're not putting ourselves out. Anyway, they ended up getting in a fight. And my grandma and grandpa left during Christmas dinner.
Oh, no.
And it was like the saddest Christmas ever.
Oh.
And then there was like nothing to do to make anyone happy because it was Christmas Day and everything was closed. So we ended up going to Walmart because we had gift certificates from one of my other grandpas. So we went to Walmart and like they were out of stock on everything. And
oh, man.
There was like nothing to buy even. And so, yeah, it's just a really, really sad Christmas.
I bet you could have gone to a Chinese restaurant.
Right?
It's where we went.
When your uncle...
No, it's a different story.
Yeah. So, anyway, that was that very sad Christmas. My dad and grandma get along, now. But it was just a moment. It was just super awkward. And so, yeah. But, yeah.
Man. Yep. So I have another June and Todd story. So because so my great aunt June and Todd, they did not have any kids, and they were very, very rich, and they lived in Santa Barbara. Mm-hmm. And so we would go see them. And when I lived in California, I would go visit with them a lot and hang out with them. And we would go over there, and she was very, very frugal, which is part of why she had a ton of money. And she was a psychologist, whatever. But she saved all wrapping paper, not just tissue paper, wrapping paper. So she would rewrap everything. So all the paper was always wrinkled because it would be crinkled up, and she'd undo it and wrap everything up. So that's why she reminds me of the lady from Christmas Vacation.
My grandma used to save my great grandma because she was, Depression era. But she would when she unwrapped it, she would unwrap it super nicely. So she would cut the tape, and then she'd spread it all out, and then she would roll it up nicely. Oh yeah. So that it still looked all nice and new. And I mean,
she would try to do that for her stuff, but then the other people's stuff that they had opened, she would then take theirs too. And then unwrinkle it.
Oh, that's how so
she was. Funny. And so there was this one.
She's ironing it.
She would. I swear she would have. So there was this one Christmas we went to her house, and it was my mom's sister, my Aunt Liz, and my mom and I, and my dad, and John and I, and then my aunt's sons, David and Dylan, and then my grandma and grandpa, Liz's sister and my grandpa. And so we were all there. So we're all opening all these presents, and, you know, she gave some good presents too, some regular, normal presents. But she would usually go around her house and wrap things for people. And she would,
does remind me of the lady from Christmas.
She would wrap things, and so she would, like, I don't know. And she also she would shop on QVC all the time. She didn't leave her house a ton. So she'd wrap on or buy things on QVC, and then she would, like, order, like, multiples of them. And so she'd have them around her house. And so then she would be like, oh, this would be good for them. And she'd wrap it up. So she did a lot of that. So we're all opening all of our gifts. And then all of the guys got matching shirts of, like, matching plaid, like, red and white t-shirts. So all of them put them all on. So all matching that. And then we're all opening all of these gifts and stuff. So my cousin David gets a gift, and he's opening it, and it's just a can of olives. and the look on his face was like, is this like a gag gift, or is this, like, for real? And she's like, do you like it? And he's like, yes, I love it, Aunt Jude. Thank you. And we're like, oh my gosh. And he just has never lived it down, like, that she gave him just as a can of olives for real.
She was like, that's how I feel about you.
So, yeah. So that's what she did. She just found a can of olives and thought David would love these olives.
That is so
she gave
funny.
Him a can of
He's
olives.
like, I'm allergic to olives.
Right? Oh, man. So, like, 2 years ago, I gave everybody in my family a can of olives for Christmas.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So when I was little, I guess I have more, like, bad Christmas stories than, like, Thanksgiving stories. But when I was little, and I just barely remember this, but my mom was pregnant with my younger brother, and she'd almost had a miscarriage. So she was on bed rest, and it was Christmas time. And she couldn't get out of bed for, like, more than so many minutes a day type thing.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't her whole pregnancy. It was just for, like, so long until she was so far along. And, but Christmas time was right in that time period. So, like, my dad had to do everything for Christmas. And so, like, there are pictures, and the Christmas tree is, like, only, like, decorated, like, halfway decorated to, like, where we could reach it. And there were, like, presents that weren't wrapped. My dad just put them in boxes and, like, taped them shut. And, like, I remember, like, my sister got this, like, kitchen set, and I remember that my dad had to, like, open it with his, like, pocket knife, and I always thought it was because, like, he just left it in the box, but it was because he, like, put it in the box and he, like, taped it shut. So he didn't have to wrap it. And I'm like, all this just like random little things that, like, my mom would do, and my dad just had to do them all. So, and he was working full time, and he had 2 little girls. Like, I was like 4, and Brittany was 2.
Oh my goodness.
Not even 2 yet. Like, so we were little, and so yeah, so anyway, so that was, like, that Christmas, and you look in the pictures, and, like, everything, it just looks super thrown together, and, like, the Christmas tree, like, everything, it looks, you know, and, like, it's decorated, it just looks, the house is decorated, but it just looks like a complete, like, mess, because my mom was very particular about where all her Christmas stuff went, and, like, it's just kind of, like, all scattered here and there, and my dad did all of the Christmas shopping, and, like, so yeah, so that was that Christmas. But we always talk about that Christmas, and I remember, and then my dad had to do everything by himself, right, because my mom was on bed rest, and he just barely gone to bed, and we got up at, like, 3:30, 4, and he went to bed at, like, 2:30, and we're like, it's Christmas time, and my dad's like, well, might as well do it now. So we have these pictures, and it's like pitch black outside, and we're like opening Christmas presents, because my dad was like, he's like, my thought was we just open them and go back to bed. And that's what we did.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah,
that's nice. I don't know. Growing up, my parents always said we couldn't get up before 7 for Christmas, so we never did. Or if we did, we couldn't but wake them up, so we had to wait.
Once we got older, that was the rule. But then one year, my mom woke up at, like, 5 or 4. No, it was before that. And I heard something downstairs, so I went downstairs. I was probably like 12 or 13, and she was like, if anyone gets up and tries to wake us up before, I think it was like 7 or 7:30, she's like, I'm gonna be so mad. La, da, da. And for like weeks and weeks she told us this. And then I went down to go to the bathroom, and she's like, up, and she's like, you want to watch a movie? So we're watching a movie. We watched Stargate, and then finally it ended, and she's like, oh man, what time is it? I'm like, it's like 5:20. And she's like, that's it, I can't take it anymore. Kim, go get everybody out. So she woke up everyone in the house.
Oh wow.
At like 5:30, even though we had been like, we'll beat you. I mean, not really, but like they were like, no one is allowed to go, da, 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 da. And my dad was like, really, Linda, really? And she's like, I was excited.
Oh man. So I guess I have another awkward Thanksgiving one I just thought of that. Okay, it's apparently my mom's whole side of the family. So, which I love them all dearly. I really do. So I don't know. I don't know if I should share this one. So some random person in my family, was dating a married person, and they invited all of us over for Thanksgiving at that person's home. But they weren't there. They were at their family's home. And anyways, so it was super awkward because, we had a German exchange student that was staying with us. Okay, to start off with. And I was 16 years old. Okay, so this was what?
You're like, this is the bad side of the family.
24 years ago? Yeah, 24 years ago. And so we had a German exchange student with us. I was 16 years old. She was 16. And we were invited over to my family member's house for Thanksgiving. But we were invited. My grandparents were invited. My cousins were invited. Like, all of us were all invited over to her house for Thanksgiving. At this beautiful, beautiful house. It was her lover's house. And she lived there.
Her sugar daddy's house.
Pretty much, yes. She'd been dating him for a long time. Like, probably, I think, like 5 or 6 years or longer.
Dang.
Like, it'd been a long time. But anyways, he was not in town. He was in some other state with his family and children with them for Thanksgiving. And we went to their house for Thanksgiving, and it was the most awkward feeling walking down the hallway, seeing family pictures of his family in the hallway. Yeah, it was super awkward and weird. And we had this German exchange student from Germany with us. Like, it was so weird. And then my cousin, and I mean, we're over it now. I was 16 and very naive and whatever, but my cousin took the German exchange student. We all went out somewhere, and he smoked weed with her, which got her sent home to Germany. Yeah, like 3 months later. I mean, there were way, way, way more issues with her than that, but that was like the last thing. There were so many more other issues that were wrong with it, but that was the last thing that I think needed to happen to get her sent home. But anyways, he went and did that. And then, yeah. And then we went back to the house and ate turkey around the table where the guy and his family normally sit and eat dinner with his family.
That's so awkward.
Yeah, it was super, super awkward.
And she's just like, yeah, this is my lover's house. That's him and his wife.
I mean, it was a beautiful house, but it was
still
super awkward. Super awkward.
So when I was a kid, we went to my aunt's house for Thanksgiving, and her and her first husband had gotten divorced, and he was like my cousin's dad. Like, I knew him really well because I was the same age as my cousins, and like we had gone to Disneyland together, and we'd done all these fun things, and he was just a super cool guy. He was horrible to be married to, but he was a great uncle. You know what I mean? Like, anyway. And like it was a good thing they weren't married. But so him and my aunt had gotten married around the same time as my mom and my dad, and so my dad knew him really well, and so we went to her house for Thanksgiving, and she was dating someone else. I can't remember if they were married or they were just dating, but we were just about to sit down to dinner, and my uncle showed up.
Oh, no.
Because he wanted to say hi to the kids, and then she invited him to stay because that's her kid's dad. And then her, like, boyfriend was, like, super pissed off.
Oh, my goodness.
And then he was like, hey, you guys want to go ride motorcycles? So my dad was like, yeah, sure. So dad and me and my siblings and my cousins were all outside, like, riding on the back of my uncle's motorcycle. And my mom was in the house with my aunt, who's her sister, and, like, her boyfriend. And he was just, like, like, he was super, super mad. And I didn't know it was awkward. I was like, I'm so glad he came. And my parents were like, yeah. My dad's like, yeah, it was fun. My mom was like, it was really awkward. He's like, well, yeah, but I went outside for that part. Like,
oh, man.
So, yeah, but same thing. It was just, like, super, super awkward. And, but, like, and I knew that her boyfriend was upset. Like, I could sense it as a kid. Mm-hmm. But I also didn't really understand, like, the reason why or whatever. But everyone was super excited to see him. And everyone was like, oh, you're here. You know, like, anyway. So, but, yeah.
Yeah, you don't really sense the awkwardness as much when you're a kid.
Yeah.
So,
but now that I'm an adult, like, I understand how awkward that would be.
Yeah. I remember going to Thanksgivings at my Aunt Jennifer's house. They were a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. She would always bake pies from scratch. Oh. It's like the only time she would have, like, sweet stuff in her house. Mm-hmm. And she always made them from scratch, and they were amazing. And she had a million kids, so there were always, well, she has 7 kids, but, like, them and then us, and all the kids sat at the kids' table, and it was just a free-for-all. It was always so much fun.
Yeah.
So I had fond memories there of Thanksgivings.
Yeah. So when I was a kid, we always had Thanksgiving. I feel like with my grandma Trivet, because my great-grandma's birthday was the 26th of November, so she would come down and, like, stay with my grandpa a lot for her birthday, and because my great-grandfather had died by then, and she would come and visit, and so we would have Thanksgiving there. But then they moved, and then my my mom's parents moved, and soon it was just us, and then we moved to the mountains, and that was the first time I remember, like, doing Thanksgiving alone. And my mom made a turkey, and my parents were so, like, lonely because we had no family around anymore, so we started going to the movies every Thanksgiving, and, like, that became our family tradition. And I loved it. I always loved Thanksgiving. Like, I have such fun memories of Thanksgiving. And but yeah, and my mom loved Thanksgiving. She would make pies and she would make rolls, and so
Thanksgiving, fine. Mm-hmm. It's not my favorite holiday. I think it's awesome and I like it, but it is Sean's favorite. And he always tells everybody if he weren't religious, it'd be his religious. What is it? What did he say? If he weren't religious, it would be what he would worship or something like that.
The turkey god.
Yeah. Because he loves to cook and he loves Thanksgiving, and, like, it's a whole week thing for him. Like, he loves it so much. And this was the first year he didn't do a turkey because Jacob and Lauren did it. So
So I always loved Thanksgiving. Now, the worst Christmas I ever had was I almost died. It was the Christmas I got my diabetes. Mm-hmm. And I had diabetes when I was pregnant with Hank, but they weren't sure if it was gestational or type 2, but then it went away after I had Hank. But what they didn't realize is it was because I have a rare type of diabetes called 1.5 that was coming on. And so about 10 months after Hank was born, I started getting really sick and I lost a bunch of weight, and we had all these fun Christmas plans and everything just kept getting canceled. And because I was so sick, and then I'd get better, and then I'd get sick again. And it was actually like 2020. So I really kind of had wondered if I had some weird, like, form of COVID. But I was so sick. And then I was, like, Christmas Eve, and I was so sad because there were all these things that, like, we just didn't get to do for Christmas. And then Christmas Eve, I just remember lying there, and, like, I felt horrible because, like, I felt like I had, like, wasted my whole entire Christmas. And I love Christmas. It's my favorite time of year. And I was, like, crying, and Adam was like, well, you need to go to the doctor. And I was like, no, I don't want to go to the doctor. And I just think I'm tired and stressed and I'll be fine. And Adam was like, clearly something is wrong. So then the 26th, he told me, then, like, Christmas Day, I hardly remember. And the 26th, he told me, he's like, you were going to the doctor one way or the other. Mm-hmm. So choose the mode of transportation to get there. And then finally, literally, it was like, God was like, go to the doctor, you idiot. Like, what are you thinking? And I went to stand up, And I was like, yeah, I probably really need to go to the doctor. And like, I almost blacked out and I laid down. I was like, Adam, I think you need to call the ambulance. So, which probably was a good thing. Anyway, they came and they took me and they knew right away what was wrong with me.
That's
but my
good.
blood sugar was like over 600. And I was in like full blown ketoacidosis.
Holy moly.
And I was unconscious for 2 days. And then I woke up and I was in the hospital over New Year's Eve. And I was like, you know what? This is the worst New Year's ever. It really, really sucks.
Aww.
And I was alone in the hospital, but by then I was like well enough to feel better. Like the first few days I was in there, like I knew I couldn't be home. I didn't feel good. And I knew that I was like where I needed to be. But like starting then it was like I really missed my kids and I missed my family. And I love New Year's Eve. Like I think it's so fun. And I just remember thinking like, okay, next New Year's Eve, if I am not in the hospital, then it will be better than this New Year's Eve. And I wasn't in the hospital the next New Year's Eve. That's always my goal, to not be in the hospital. Anyway, but that was probably one of the worst Christmases. And then I remember thinking, like, what if I had died? My kids would hate Christmas forever. And Adam's like, but you didn't. So then the next year for Christmas, I had PTSD. And I was thinking, like, there were some things, like, I remember dates. And I was like, oh, yeah, we were supposed to do this on this day last year, but I was too sick and da-da-da-da-da. And, you know, so it was just very, like...
Yeah.
And then the next year I was pregnant with Tommy. And then the next year I had Tommy. Actually, no, I wasn't pregnant with Tommy then. I had PTSD. Then I had Tommy the next year.
Yeah.
And that Christmas was
when
insane.
I knew you.
Yeah. That was an insane Christmas just because I had a premature newborn.
Yeah.
And then last year, my grandma died, which was really hard and really sad. Because I missed her, and Christmas was her favorite time of year. So last year was really sad at Christmas. But this year, I'm like, we will celebrate Christmas. We're going to see Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the musical. We're going to see the Nutcracker. We're going...
That Mercedes is in.
Yay! We have a bunch of fun stuff planned. There's other stuff that I can't think of. But it's going to be so fun and amazing, and I'm so excited.
Yes. I'm super excited. The season 2. Let's see. I'm trying to think of my worst Christmas, but I can't really, I don't know. I'm sure my mom could tell me what my worst Christmas. I do know what my favorite Christmas is, though. My favorite Christmas present and Christmas is when I was like 9. We were going, so my grandma and grandpa were living in Walker, California. It's a rinky-dink little tiny nothing town. And their house was being built. And we were going to go to their house for Christmas when we lived in Utah. And we were driving out there to go out to their house, but the house apparently was not ready. And they were like, oh, it's supposed to be ready by Christmas, blah, 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 blah. But then it ended up not being ready, and we had already left. So then we ended up meeting in the middle in I think Carson City, or it wasn't Reno, but it was Carson City, I think, somewhere in the middle there. And we ended up renting a little tiny hotel room. And my grandma and my mom are notorious for stealing things on accident. And
your grandma and your mom?
Yes. And we were driving down the road and it said Christmas trees. And it's like in the middle of nowhere, right? And there's all these little Christmas trees, and we drive up and it says like, it didn't say free, but it said Christmas trees here, whatever. So we go up and we're like looking around trying to find somewhere to pay or to pay somebody or something. There's nowhere to like pay anybody or anything. There's no people there. And we go up and we get a little rinky dink little tiny tree for the hotel room. Right. And we put it in the car. And then as we're driving away, we see like at the very end of the fence, like nowhere near where the trees are, a little box that says pay here. We did not turn around and stop because at that point we were like already gone down the freeway because it's like off the freeway. And so they accidentally stole this little tiny Christmas tree. It was like Christmas Eve. So we really saved this tree because it probably would have never gotten home. But so we accidentally stole this little tiny Christmas tree. We take it to the hotel room. We put it in our hotel room, and it's just like I don't know, maybe 4 feet tall. And we put it on like one of the little tables in there. And then my grandma had brought some of her ornaments from her storage stuff and her tree topper. And then my mom had brought our stockings with us, which are the like 2-footer ones that I was telling you about that we had. My dad's mom, my other grandma, when we were born, had this lady knit us these stockings that are like 2 feet long, which by the time I was like 9 were like 3 feet long because I would use them as a sack of potatoes and jump around in them when I was a kid.
Which, I mean, just gives you more space for goodies.
Exactly. My aunt used to put, because all 7 of her kids got one too, which she still does to this day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. She puts like giant boxes of cereal in them.
Oh, that's such a smart idea.
Yeah. Like she puts big things, which is awesome. But anyway, so we did that. And then for dinner, like obviously we had nowhere to cook or anything. So we went to Chinese food for dinner. And that was John's first real food that he ate as a baby was Chinese egg drop soup. Funny. And I got the Polly Pocket set of tiny little houses from Santa. It was, I want to say it was the 99 houses, but I could be wrong. But it could have just been 99 pieces. But it was like, it came with the whole village of the Polly Pocket sets. Oh my gosh, it was the best present ever. It was amazing. I wish I still had it. I don't know what happened to it.
That's so funny.
It was the coolest thing ever. But
my favorite Christmas is probably in 2nd grade. I don't even remember what I got for that Christmas, but I remember that we went Christmas caroling. And there was this lady at our church who went to their house, and she was dying of cancer. And we went Christmas caroling to her house, and I still remember her answering the door and just like sobbing as she like watched us. Because she was just so happy, and she was like, "Merry Christmas. I just want you guys to know that you made me so happy." And her husband was just like tears rolling down his face. And she's like, "I just want you to know that you made us so happy." And so then we drove home, and I didn't really understand like what she meant until later. But then we were driving home, and I remember seeing a red light in the sky, and I was like, "Oh, Dad, I think I see Rudolph." And he's like, "Maybe we should go home and get to bed." And I remember just thinking, "Oh my gosh, like Santa is coming." And it was so cold. And like, I just remember we went home, and then we read Christmas stories, and it was just like so fun. And I don't know, it was just like one of the most magical Christmases I remember. So
that's cool.
But yeah, I don't remember what I got that year. Like, I remember some of the things I got, but I don't remember that one. But I just remember how, like, fun that Christmas was. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I don't remember every single Christmas present I ever got, like, or anything. But there are some major ones that I remember, like the American Girl doll with the N64
I got one
and
of those.
stuff, and the Polly Pocket. Like, those were huge ones.
I got a Ghostbuster backpack one time.
Oh, that's cool. It's pretty awesome.
That was one of my top gifts. And then I got an American Girl doll one year. And then when I was in 5th grade, I asked my parents for the remastered Star Wars that was on VHS, and it had all of the extended stuff. And I remember being so excited because I actually got it. Like, I was like so psyched. And I remember that. That was like a super big deal to me. I'm trying to think of like other. We first moved here, and that was a hard Christmas because Ryan was back in Massachusetts. So it was just me and Adam and Kit. We were so poor because we had just moved. And Adam's like, "We shouldn't buy a Christmas tree." He's like, "We have to have a Christmas tree."
Yeah.
Like, so we went out and we got a Christmas tree, and it was so small we put it on top of a box. And then we didn't get anything. We only got Kit presents. She was a baby, so we only got her a few. It didn't even matter. Like, she was like barely one. And we got her the musical like Princess Little People Castle, Disney Castle. And she loved it. And like, that was like the only. So we had like no Christmas. We had some Christmas decorations, which my dad was like, "I don't know why you'd bring these out from," but I'm so glad I did. Yeah. Like, that was one of the things we moved with. But we didn't have any presents under the tree, so I like went to the dollar store and got wrapping paper. and wrapped kids' presents and then just wrapped random boxes that we had moved stuff in just so that it looked more merrier.
That's so cute.
But then it snowed on Christmas Eve. And that was like one of my favorite things. But yeah, that was like...
When we moved to Oregon, we didn't have anything out here either. My mom was still in Utah waiting to finish selling the house, like waiting to close it and stuff and pack everything and move everything. And so John and I were out here with my dad in an apartment in Oregon. And we had nothing. We literally were sleeping on air mattresses. And my dad was on an air mattress. John and I were on air mattresses.
That's how Adam and I were. Like, we slept on an air, like a cheap air mattress.
Yeah, it was. And then when it was Christmas time, and same thing, like we didn't have any decorations. So I, in my artsiness that I am, went and I got a bunch of butcher paper. My dad went and got some from work. He worked at Intel. He brought a bunch home, and I drew 3 caroling mice, and then I could color them and drew them and cut them out, and then I taped them up on the wall, and then I drew like a light post and colored that out, and I like drew a bunch of decorations, and then we got like a cardboard long box, and then made those like 3D mantles like for the wall, and then I drew the fireplace and did that on the wall, and then we did the same thing with the packages and like wrapped them, because we didn't have any decorations or trees or anything, like so we did the same thing. We just did it. I just drew it all and then taped it on the wall and decorated, because we had nothing there. So
yeah, it's just funny though, because looking back, like that was one of my favorite Christmases now. Because, like, we had just moved and Adam and I had been separated, and, like, it just didn't matter that we didn't, get presents or anything. It was just a good Christmas. Like, I don't know. But yeah. I love Christmas.
I do, too.
It's a lot of fun. One Christmas, though, I did find my mom's cache of presents.
Uh-oh.
And instead of just walking away, I looked. And that was the worst Christmas ever.
I did find
because I knew everything that was under the tree.
Oh, that sucks.
And it was just really, really, really sad.
Yeah, that is really sad.
And I told my mom later, and she's like, yeah, that's like really sad when that happens, huh? And I'm like, yeah, it was awful.
That I only found one present one time, and it was in the car. And my mom had hid it under the seat. And I think I had gone to the car to look for something. And I was like looking under the seat, obviously. And I found a brand new set of Pogs. In the little Pog holder with the Pog things. And I was like, oh, I was so excited. But then I was like, oh, really sad, because I realized what it was for.
Yeah, no, I found
really aging myself here with the Pogs.
Right? Pogs.
Dude, I think Mercedes would love Pogs.
So would Kit.
Oh my gosh, they would gamble for real with
My
those.
mom and dad wouldn't buy me Pogs because they thought they were really stupid.
They were so cool.
Which in hindsight, they are really stupid. I mean, aren't they that cool though? My dad was like, you might as well just play with pennies. It's cheaper.
I mean, yeah.
Like,
but they're not as collectible.
Who collects Pogs?
I don't know.
It's one of those things.
Maybe I'm going to get her Pogs now.
Oh my gosh. Then Kit's going to be like, can I have some Pogs, please?
I need me a new slammer.
And I'm going to be like, no, we're not going there.
Hey, they're going to make a comeback, I guarantee you.
They walk alone. But yeah. But I did think they were cool when I was... That and the stupid, finger skateboards.
Oh, tech decks?
Yeah.
Those are still cool.
No, they're not.
They're still in the toy aisle.
Who gets them? I'm sorry, Hillary's
I raised my hand. I might have bought one for John and Edwin.
I'm going to get you Pogs for Christmas. And number 2 pencils.
Hey, I got you a nice present.
Pencils are nice.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah. So I don't know. I'm trying to think of I remember one year around Thanksgiving time, my mom's oven broke.
Oh, I got a good one about my mom too.
She was like, my oven's broken. And my dad's like, and she was like, my oven's broken. It's the week of Thanksgiving. And he was like, Uh-huh. And I can't remember if they fixed it, but, like, she made Thanksgiving dinner, I think. I just remember her being like, this is perfect. This is wonderful. This is... Like, she was so angry. And, it, like, stopped cooking, and she had, like, it would, like... She was like, I can't cook a turkey in there. We will die. Because it, took so long to cook everything.
Oh, really?
And, like, it couldn't go above, like, a certain temperature.
Oh.
And, so, yeah, so that was, like, interesting. So I think my dad fixed it, but I just remember her talking about, like, 2 days till Thanksgiving, and I don't have an oven. But,
oh, man.
So, yeah, but, like, my mom, I don't know, she made the same thing every year, and it usually, one year, she did the gravy wrong, and it didn't thicken, so it was, like, broth.
Oh, no.
And she was like, it's fine. And then we were eating it, and we're like, this is not fine. Like, it's not good. And she was like, it tastes just fine. Everyone's like, but it doesn't. She's like, it's not the main part of the meal. The turkey is fine, but I think gravy is an important part of Thanksgiving.
I do too. Yeah, Sean is a huge gravy person.
Yeah, I am too. See, Adam's not. Adam's like, eh.
Yeah, Sean is a huge gravy person, a huge mashed potato person.
His gravy was super good.
It was really good. The first one he made was way better, but the second one, the one he made when you guys were here, was really, really good too.
And I guess this year, Thanksgiving didn't quite go as planned.
Yeah, that's okay.
We had a bunch of friends were getting together, and someone's kid got sick.
So we had to postpone.
Yeah.
A couple days.
Like throw up sick.
Yeah.
It's not good when you get like...
We all know how Kim feels about throw up.
Yeah, we all know how I feel about throw up. But actually it was Adam who was like, we cannot afford to get sick. But it's never good when you get a text message at 11 a.m. on Thanksgiving Day with, so our child just projectile vomited all over our bathroom. Mm-hmm. Should we move Thanksgiving? But we just moved it to Saturday.
Yeah.
Which honestly turned out to be so fun.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Amazing. The food was good.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, but it was sad that we didn't get... Yeah. That's the second time though that we've had to like do Thanksgiving dinner last minute. Because one year, the year Tommy was born, RSV was super, super bad and we couldn't get Tommy sick. And at first it didn't seem like that big of a deal, but then RSV like made a huge like... It was super big in this area in November, which normally it's later. And so our doctor told us that we should probably hunker down because he was premature and it would be really... Yeah. And our doctor is not one who like freaks out over things. Like even COVID, he was like, you know, it's really hard on your mental health to be alone. Yeah. So once it's safe, go be cautious, but hang out with people, go outside. Like he wasn't super crazy.
Yeah.
And so I thought he'd be like, oh, yeah, no, not a big deal. And he was like, he cannot get RSV.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, my gosh, the fact that you're so, like, this can't happen is making me stressed. And he's like, you should be stressed. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh. And he's like, I'm not trying to scare you. And he's like, I just want you to know this is serious.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't take him to church until he's a certain age. And he's like, and once you get to church, tell all the old women who want to kiss him, no. Because we go to the same church. Anyway, so we had to cancel Thanksgiving, which, like, our host understood because it was really scary. And so we had to make, like, a last-minute Thanksgiving dinner. And then the year before, not the year before, in 2020... we were supposed to go to my aunt's house for Thanksgiving, but there was a COVID outbreak. And so that Thanksgiving got canceled. So we had to make a last minute Thanksgiving at our house.
Yeah.
Too. But those have all been fun. Like it's all, it's worked out. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. We get along as a family.
Yeah. But no, I think it worked out. We had a lot of fun.
Saturday worked out. So much fun.
Yeah.
And it was so good.
It was really
good. Didn't even eat that much food, but it was so filling and so good and so rich that I almost died. I myself almost puked.
I know. You're like, I gotta go home.
And Adam's like talking to Hillary and Sean. I was like, I have to leave right now.
I was like, I'm pretty sure if I poke Kim, she's gonna pop.
I'm going to pop. Yeah, I was. It was so good. Like everything, the pie. Why do we have so many friends who could cook such good meals?
I don't know.
Like Jacob's Cajun turkey was amazing.
It was so good.
It was so good.
It did not taste Cajun at all.
No, but it was so
just
good.
tasted delicious. Like I didn't taste any spiciness at all.
No, it was so good. I like Cajun food though.
I do too.
But yeah, and the potatoes were good and normal.
They were normal.
We did talk about like, should Thanksgiving food be traditional, or is it okay
to fancify some of it?
Yeah, I like traditional Thanksgiving food.
Me too. Sean tries to fancy it up sometimes, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
To put a stop to it.
And there's some things like I make my green beans fancy for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I didn't like it.
You didn't like my green beans?
Nope.
No.
But they were too fancy for me.
I thought they were.
It's okay. Nobody liked my green beans either.
Did you make green bean casserole?
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of green bean casserole.
Not a lot of people ate it, which was fine because there's more for me. But
yeah. I mean, right? If you like it.
I love it.
Yeah.
So
my green beans, it's funny. They looked fancy, but I just put them in the pan. That was aluminum.
I don't like they were fresh green beans though, huh?
No, they were frozen.
Yeah, but they're like fresh frozen green beans.
Yes.
I don't like those.
Oh, you only liked canned green beans.
I only like
my mom only likes canned green beans too.
That was why.
And I hate, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, putting them in the can, my mom says makes them taste better, but I don't like them that way. I just put them from the frozen bag into the pan, and I put olive oil and garlic on them and bacon.
Yeah, it's a texture thing. That's why I didn't. That was really why I didn't like them.
Which is why I don't like
the
canned ones, because they're like mushy but not.
Yeah.
So yeah,
they're soft.
They are. There's a very big taste difference though between them.
There is.
Which is why I don't usually like green bean casserole, because it's made with canned green beans.
Mm-hmm.
But my sister loves green bean casserole. Like it's her favorite thing about Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's probably one of my faves too.
So yeah,
but I would not have made as big of one had I known not as many people were.
I'm actually surprised because it's normally really popular.
Yeah, I thought more people would eat it, but that's fine. John will eat it, and I'll eat it. So
yeah,
cool.
I think about half my green beans were gone.
Yeah. There were a lot of them gone.
What?
Mercedes, I think, ate them.
Yeah, Kit liked them.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they were crunchy.
Yeah.
Which is how I like them. But
I don't like them crunchy.
I was like, I have to bring a vegetable. Are we having any vegetables?
Yes.
In casserole form? Well, now I feel bad I brought green beans because you had green bean casserole. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's fine.
I feel like they're so different though.
They were two completely opposite ones. So
yeah, but but that's funny because like I hate canned green beans, and that's like all my mom will eat.
Yeah,
she thinks frozen green beans are disgusting.
Yeah, I hate them.
Yeah, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I think Thanksgiving should be like the traditional, like boring mashed potatoes.
Same. No skin.
Mm-hmm. Because
Sean said he put 8 sticks of butter in those mashed potatoes.
No wonder everyone was sick.
He's like, there was so much butter in there. No wonder they were delicious.
They were so
I mean,
good.
they were for 19 people, so don't get me wrong. There were a lot of potatoes.
There were lots of potatoes.
A lot of potatoes.
Because I brought like 5 pounds. I think he did like at least like 10 pounds of potatoes.
Oh, yeah. Easy. I mean, we have...
So that's less than a stick of butter per pound.
we still have a bunch of potatoes in there. You took some home.
Mm-hmm.
Lauren and Jacob took home.
Yeah, they were really good.
Brighton took some home.
Like the gravy was good. It was good.
Yeah.
So, and then, but yeah. So what's your favorite Thanksgiving food?
My favorite Thanksgiving food is probably So I didn't used to like stuffing, but I do like stuffing now.
I love stuffing.
And so I really like to take a little piece of turkey, a little bit of mashed potato, a little bit of gravy, and a little bit of stuffing, and eat it in one bite.
Mm-hmm. I love to mix it
That's
together.
like my favorite thing to eat.
Which you're not normally a mixer of
I
foods.
am not a mixer of foods. So I really like that. But if I picked one dish to have, it'd probably be mashed potatoes and gravy. No, if I had to eat it by itself, it'd be green bean casserole.
Oh, okay.
Because the mashed potatoes have to have turkey with it. And the turkey has to have mashed potatoes with it. Like it's got to be a together thing.
Mm-hmm. They're like a package deal.
They are.
They're like peanut butter and jelly.
It's true. And my favorite dessert for Thanksgiving is peach pie. I hate pumpkin pie.
Yeah. I feel like you either like pumpkin pie or you hate pumpkin pie.
Yes.
Although there are some people who just eat pumpkin pie because it's like Thanksgiving, but
That's gross.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite?
Oh, I like stuffing with gravy, but I like the turkey and mashed potatoes and stuffing like all mixed together. I think it's delicious. I love Thanksgiving casserole, which is something that one of my friends' moms used to make, and I make it every once in a while. And but you put stuffing, and then turkey, and then mashed potatoes, and then you put gravy over the turkey, and then you put mashed potatoes, and you bake it like with the leftovers. And so it's like you get the trifecta.
You should totally do that.
Yeah, I've done it before. I love it. That's what I was making that one day when Adam burnt it, but it was with chicken. So yeah, sometimes I'll make it with chicken. It's just really good. Super filling. That is, so yeah. Then my favorite dessert, I love chocolate pie. My mom used to make a chocolate cream pie every year with pudding and a graham cracker crust. This year I made it from scratch.
I didn't get to try any.
I didn't bring it. I should have.
That's okay. But I did really like your cream cheese pie thing. Oh, that was really good.
It's called Cherry Delight. That is also very good. But really I make that for like every holiday.
Yeah.
Well, I used to. I haven't in a few years. So
I might make my no bake cheesecake next time.
Yeah.
That my grandma gave me.
Yeah. That one's kind of like a no bake cheesecake too. So I make it for Easter. I make it for almost every holiday because you can.
That's delicious.
Yeah. Thank you. It's my great grandma's recipe.
Yeah. It was yummy.
People are like, "Oh, what's in it?" I'm like, do you care about what you ingest?" It's like cream cheese, Cool Whip, sugar.
Yeah. It sounds like the one my grandma makes. So I had like half of my piece left and I had it on the counter for the morning. In the morning, Mercedes came in and she's like, "Mommy, can I eat the rest of the cake on the counter?" And I was like, "No." And I had my mask on, my CPAP mask. And she's like, "Okay, thank you." And I was like,
"You're like, no,
I was like, no, you can't." And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "I said you can't eat it."
Oh,
and she's
it's like, so good.
I was like, I didn't even eat all of my pie because I was too full last night.
It was all gone. I know. I took a little piece and then we took it home and it was gone. And someone ate the last piece at home.
Oh no!
And I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?"
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, it's so good. But it's like, it's really rich. You can only have so much. So yeah, no, and it's one that I perfected over the years. Like, I used to make it and it would get like lumpy but I really like it. But yeah, I made chocolate cream pie. You would not have liked my chocolate cream pie though, because it tasted like dark chocolate.
Oh, gross.
So, and I know how you feel about dark chocolate.
Yeah, it's nasty.
It was good. So
I like key lime pie though.
Do you? I don't like key lime pie.
I love key lime pie.
I also don't like lemon meringue pie, but I love lemon. I love lemon cake. Lemon cake is one of my favorite cakes.
I like lemon cake too. Yeah, I love key lime pie and I like lemon meringue pie too.
Yeah, I don't like meringue.
Oh, see, I like meringue.
Yeah, it's not like my favorite. And I watched the Great British Bake Off or British Baking Show, whatever it's called. And I always think, I wish I liked meringue. But I don't.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I don't know. So yeah, that's my favorite, like turkey, and I guess it's not really like one food.
Yeah. It's all of the foods
mashed together for the trifecta of foods.
Yeah.
Adam doesn't like Thanksgiving dinner that much. He doesn't like turkey because he's I don't know. And
Did you try the pheasant?
No.
I didn't get to try it either.
I didn't get to try it. I was going to go back and get some, but I was so stuffed.
Well, we have some left over.
I think I'm good right now. I've had pheasant before.
Oh, I haven't.
I don't like it that much. It's gamey.
Oh, I haven't tried it. But what's his name? Lauren's son said he really liked it, and he doesn't like mushrooms, and he tried it. And
yeah, Caden liked it, and Caden's pretty picky.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't like.
Sean saved me a piece that didn't have mushrooms, and I didn't try it though.
I don't like pheasant. I've tried pheasants.
Sean went hunting and got pheasant, and so he made it for Thanksgiving this year.
I tried Cornish game hen, and I didn't like that. Duck. I don't like duck.
I've tried duck. It's gross.
It's gross. I like turkey, and I like chicken as far as fowls go. Fowl meat. Fowls. Poultry. But yeah. But we only, Ryan and Kit love, like, the dark meat. Mm-hmm. But mostly we eat the, like, white meat.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'll just buy a turkey breast for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
But then my kids are like, oh. So Sean deboned my turkey for me this year. Yeah. And then he seasoned it, and I liked it. But
Ryan didn't like it?
No.
Yeah.
It was pretty salty. I liked it.
Which is funny because Sean doesn't usually do a lot of salt except his eggs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's my family, though.
It's true.
And then Ryan was like, what are we having for Christmas dinner? And I was like, I don't know. And every year I'm like, a goose. But Ryan was like, what are we having? I was like, I don't know. Should we do like turkey? He's like, I like the turkey how you normally make it. And I was like, okay. I was surprised.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as good.
Yeah. The year we had Edwin, we had Philly cheesesteaks for Thanksgiving.
Ooh, that's cool.
Because I had just had a baby, and I was like, I'm not making dinner, and I don't want to deal with the mess. So.
I'm surprised Sean wasn't like, I'll make it.
Oh, I'm sure he would have, but I said no.
Oh, so, okay.
I was like, I don't want to mess in the kitchen. I don't want to deal with it. We have a brand new baby.
I mean, I get
he's
that.
Like, okay. So we just did Philly cheesesteaks.
So, I mean, the year I had Kit, I was in the hospital having her on Thanksgiving. So,
well, there you go.
So then she was a year old first Thanksgiving. But we went to my mom's house.
Yeah.
And then Tommy, was earlier in the month. So it wasn't like, I don't know. I was feeling better by then.
Yeah.
But, so yeah. But Kit had a whole year to recover.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. She's my Black Friday baby.
Got a good deal on her.
Maybe I should go Black Friday shopping. And they're like, yeah, first time moms are usually like in labor for at least 12 hours. 2 hours later. I'm like, good thing you didn't go Black Friday shopping. And the nurse was like, you would have heard about that for the rest of your life.
Right.
Remember that time that I had a baby? He did end up going shopping because we were buying Ryan a specific present that was like on sale. But someone came and sat at the hospital with me, and it was like later that afternoon. And the Target was like right down the street. And I was like, you better be less than 2 hours. And he was. He was back in an hour. But like they came. It was a friend of ours, and I like slept, and she like held Kit and stuff. And but yeah. So, but that was that. But she's my Black Friday baby. Her birthday's on Black Friday a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Very cool. So.
Well, we're fading fast.
Yes.
Hopefully this wasn't a super boring episode.
Hope not.
I feel like we just talked.
We did, but we talked about our Thanksgivings and Christmases that we've gone through.
Hopefully it wasn't not funny. We didn't talk about cult leaders or anything outrageous. So send us, if you want to, send us your worst holiday moment.
Yes.
What's gone wrong? Have you dropped a turkey?
Have you peed in a bucket? Have you fried a turkey?
Did you explode your house frying a turkey?
Dude, my mom did that. Not a turkey though. Yams.
She exploded yams.
She did.
How do you explode yams?
I don't know.
I mean, I've made yams. I made yams this year and it was a disaster, but they didn't explode.
She had them in her thing and she baked them in the oven and she opened the oven and they exploded. The glass went all over the oven.
Was it oven safe glass?
Yeah, it was Pyrex.
Weird.
Yeah, it was bizarre. We don't let her live it down to this day.
That's crazy. I could see that like bothering your mom too, because your mom's kind of like, I don't know.
And she makes them every year. Like,
yeah, like she seems
thing.
like a very like competent cook.
Oh no, she's not. She doesn't cook very often ever. But that is one thing that she makes.
Oh, that's right. She makes tacos without salt.
No,
pepper.
She uses lots of salt and pepper. That's all she uses is salt and pepper. Salt and pepper.
Those are like New England tacos.
Yeah, but that's like one she makes all the time. And I don't know what happened, but it was the craziest thing. We were there when it happened too.
And she brings pumpkin pie.
Yes, but she doesn't make it from scratch or anything. She buys it from Costco.
Oh, yeah. Does she buy their cheesecake or their pumpkin pie?
Both.
I just was thinking of the missing piece.
Oh, it's pumpkin pie. That was a funny story.
So, yeah. That is a funny story.
Maybe next time.
Anyway. Next year.
Yes.
Stick around for a whole year, people. You can hear this funny story that Hillary's gonna do. Is totally worth a year's wait.
Yes. Well, if you're a mess,
you're not alone.
Oh,
I was gonna say something else. I'm really tired. I was like, because it's the time of year to be a mess.
It really is.
But you're not alone.
You're feral.
I'm Kimberly.
And I'm Hillary. And we're the Feral Housewives.
Being a housewife is darn hard. I don't even know where to start. But when times are tough and things get rough, it's a good thing we've got our best friends by our side. Laundry couches are a must. Baking cookies is a bust. Unconventional moms are the bomb. Put the kids to bed. Listen to feral housewives raising kids. To feral housewives dealing with life.